listening to Living with ADHD and CPTSD, available on Apple and wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Living with ADHD and CPTSD. Today's episode we are going to talk about how music improves our ability to focus and also at times can give us motivation or improved confidence and makes us feel like we can do things easier than if we didn't have it. The idea came up in my mind last night while I was actually recording another podcast. And I asked some questions this morning on Twitter to everybody out there, and I was trying to find out if they do listen to music and what kind of music and when they listen to it. And I got a number of responses from people. Now, I don't want to reveal their names just in case they are not comfortable with being revealed. Although I'm sure if you are on Twitter and you did give me a response that you will be aware that this is your response. So my initial question was, hey guys, gals, those with ADHD, do you use music often to help with focusing when you are working on tasks and projects? Find that music helps improve your abilities. And so here are some of the responses that I got. One of the responses I got was, I have to have music when I'm cleaning or doing anything around my house chore-wise, or else things won't get done. It helps me focus. And then another person wrote, honestly, it depends on the task. Also, if I already know what I want to listen to, it can help. But I can also get really distracted by trying to figure out what the best thing to listen to is. And then he gave me a list of different things that he listens to. And it looks like it was a playlist, like a number of, they were all playlists, and most of them were for 19th century prophet conflicted by thoughts, like a playlist for 19th century villain praising in their reflection, admiring his chaos, and then a playlist for a fallen angel seeking peace, and then a playlist for a 19th century villain scheming against his enemies. So it seems like it was non-verbal. Some people do. And then this person says, oh my God, I went through a POV playlist too, and they were how I coped during my studies. Another person says, I definitely have to have background noise, sometimes TV, but often music is usually my background go-to. No vocals, just beats. Another person then said, if I'm cooking or doing something that doesn't require my full attention, having music on is fine. However, if I'm reading or writing, music is too distracting for me. And then another person said, yes, energetic bass-driven music for tasks where I need to move or use rhythm for repetitive tasks, and beatless ambient or binaural beats when I need to write and think. And then he showed me a playlist. Most of the time they do help. Usually I listen to BTS or pop punk songs because they hype me up. I can see that because I'm sure that's quite a common thing. And then another person wrote, music helps me focus during tasks. I don't have to think much. For example, drawing. It completely derails me when I'm doing a thinking task, such as writing an essay though. And then this one said, yes, always. I am also a musician, and making music is one of the only times my brain feels untangled and not full of bees, which is kind of a cool analogy when you think about it. Yes, I have different playlists for different vibes and tasks. And then this person said, for concentrated deep work, I use themed background noise and music to stay focused and mask distractions. Mostly stuff from mynoise.net, but other ambient stuff too. So that's some interesting responses, and this was asked this morning. So thank you for those responses to everybody out there from Twitter who did manage to give a response to me. Now, as for myself, I tend to listen to music quite a bit. When I'm driving, it can help me when it comes to focusing. There are a lot of times where I will listen to music when I am, well, a lot of us obviously listen to music when we work out, but that's not a focusing thing necessarily as much as when it comes to tasks or doing chores or something. I try to listen to, if I'm cooking or making dinner or doing some like kitchen work, I will put on some music that is like positive, upbeat, definitely music that I enjoy. Like I will put on Beatles. That evening I had on like the Beatles, I had the Rolling Stones. I was looking for, I tried to listen to the Beach Boys, but it just didn't quite work. It wasn't motivating enough. I like to find songs that are motivating because that way it's like it helps keep me going. It's like a positive reinforcement. But there's also a focus thing. I have noticed a lot of times when I'm not like if I've kind of have nothing happening around me, or if there's silence and just dead airspace, I guess if you want to call it that, you could put it that way. The ability to focus has decreased significantly. And so what I started doing a lot, I don't always do it because sometimes I feel pretty good and don't necessarily need it, but there are a lot of times where I go on walks with my dog, or I'm, like I said, I'm making dinner, or I'm doing chores outside. For example, shoveling the walk, working in the garden, cutting the grass, doing things that require a lot of focus on the task at hand that you're doing, because you really can't afford to miss something or make a mistake. And I found that when I'm listening to the music, and usually it's a real positive, like motivational, excited, happy kind of song, really beat worthy, or like heavy beat, or not necessarily like heavy metal, but something that is really exciting, fast. The vocals are motivating and positive. Then I noticed that my brain has a much easier time focusing on what I'm doing in the moment and transitioning, like going from one task to another within that project feels a lot less difficult, and I also feel like I can complete it much easier than without the music. And it is something that I noticed not too long ago, because I remember it kind of was interesting. I never had thought about it before up until that point, but there was this time when I was driving and I had certain music, certain songs. I think one of the songs that I really like to listen to when I'm driving is Let's Dance by I can't remember his name. Shoot, sorry guys. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, that song is always David Bowie. There we go. Let's Dance by David Bowie. Jeez, sorry about that. When that comes on and I'm driving, there's this, I guess you could call it like a chemical change. It's kind of like an adrenaline rush in a way, and it does things to my mind, and that it improves the senses in my like awareness to a good degree. that I feel like my ability to block out excess stuff, like the noise and the distractions that are going on, and even it sort of helps shut off all those extra voices in my mind, especially if I have a lot on my mind already to begin with. Like if I'm not in the best of moods, or something has happened at home before I go on the road, or there's I have a lot of thoughts happening because maybe there's something that's bugging me that I need to take care of, which I haven't yet. It will take that ability, or that obsessive feeling. It like squish it or push it down to the point where it's like almost gone. And the ability to think about what I'm doing in the present moment, like focusing on the road, focusing on where I'm looking for all the danger signs, making sure I'm, watching out for everything, self-awareness and the awareness of my surroundings improves at that point. And the funny thing is the one drawback, and it's probably a minor inconvenience to most of us, is finding the right song. Because I know, like in my playlist, I'll get through a song and it makes me wish the song was like, instead of the 3.5 minutes or 2.5 minutes that it can be sometimes, I wish it would be like 8-9 minutes long, and the same sort of rhythm and motivational sound and the beat. And then when it ends, it feels like I'm spending 2 minutes, 3 minutes just alone trying to find the next song that fits. And I imagine that you out there listening know what I mean, is you find the right song in the moment. Like you go through and you could even hear a song that maybe a day or another day back in the past was motivational and was the perfect song in the moment for you to help make you focus, or it improved your abilities to do what you were doing, or to complete, to make you feel more present or more capable. Like it could be even with drawing or doing work or fixing something, that the next day or that next time that you come across the song in your playlist, it just doesn't fit right. It doesn't sound like it's going to work, and it really quick. Like I know it really fast whether or not the song is going to be the right motivating song at that moment. And so you're flipping through songs, and if you've been through your playlist a lot, you notice within seconds of the song starting, assuming that you're not looking at your screen, because if your phone is, or your iPhone or your smartphone, or even if, let's say, you have a little MP3 player, if it's in your pocket, or you're running, or you're busy working, you can't just grab your phone every time you want to look at the screen. And so that song within sometimes 1-2 seconds, and you're going, no, like you keep hitting the button. Like I have the same headset that I wear now as I'm doing my podcast is the same as the one that I'd be wearing when I'm listening to the music. And so I have to hit the button a certain way on one of my ears. And I can recall being out on like a walk with my dog, and I'd hit the right song, and it would go, and I could feel it, and the movement, like I'd be moving in a certain way, steps going down the road, and it would be like gelling with the song, and I could feel motivated, and I felt like everything was in tune, everything was perfect, right? And there was focus, and there was the voices, or the all the thoughts in my mind almost sounded like I was crazy there. All the thoughts that were going on, that are running around in my head, seemed to like all kind of mesh into one, or they all align. And then that song ends, and I'm up. It's, if you saw me walking around, you would think I'm kind of weird with my hand on my side of my head all the time. pressing the button, and then you hear that song, you go, nope. Hit the next one, no, no, no. And then you could go through 10 songs, or maybe 14, 15 songs, and then you hit the right song. And it feels right that moment on that particular day, but it may not necessarily feel the same the next day or like a week later. So sometimes it's just how it feels and just how it sounds, and your mind will go and say, yes, perfect, and then you let it go, and you've got it. Like if you're listening to it on a stereo or a big speaker in the house, and you can hear it wherever you're walking, which is really awesome, of course, and you're doing your chores, or you're cleaning, or you're mopping the floor, or whatever you're doing, it gives you that extra edge, like that little push that you didn't get when it was just quiet. And so it feels good, but it's amazing how the next day or the next time that you're cleaning and you put your music on, you could come across that song and you just don't feel it. Like, it doesn't seem right in that moment to be that song. And some people, I know that there are some people out there that use songs to help them focus when it comes to tasks, and it's just there like background noise, right? So they hear it, but they're not necessarily concentrating on it. And it's the same in a way for me. Like, just because the song's on doesn't mean that's what I'm focused on. It does something to my mind in a way that it allows it to just tweak I wish I could figure out the exact words, but it tweaks it in such a way that the brain, it's like my eyes are either just sharpened, right? And it's almost like they get bigger, or the pupils grow, and you're taking in more light, and you just feel a change in your senses, and in your, like, the sense of touch could improve, the sense of your vision, like your sight improves, you could maybe even the smell improves, but your brain seems to be more capable and more adaptive when that's going on. And I know that I think I saw a program not long, I don't know, maybe a year or two ago, where they were showing what occurs in the mind or a person's brain when there's music playing compared to when there is no music, or when something else is happening, and the changes that were going on. And it's quite cool. Like, it's amazing how something as simple as a song that you love, or that you really listen to, that's in that, like, surrounding you, how it changes your abilities to improvement in focus, improvement in your senses, and the ability to notice your surroundings, and to do your work more efficiently. It's quite something. Like, the focus part. Okay, I've only told maybe, I don't know, half a dozen maybe people about this, and I used to do it. I did it for years, and I would do it every night, unless I was at someone else's place, and I couldn't, of course, which was the odd time. But even when I was I used to have my headphones on my phone, and I would put them into my ears, of course, and start going to sleep. And I was playing these old radio shows from the 1930s and 40s and 50s, and what it did is it allowed my brain to focus on that particular sound that was in my mind. Because what would happen is if I didn't have the music playing, the show playing in the background, what would happen is my mind would start to kind of think about all the different thoughts. Like it could be something that happened that day, or I could start thinking about something that worried me or that I was obsessing about, and it would start to, make your mind run, and you couldn't stop it, obviously, because, which is the whole problem that we all face, is that our minds are going and going and going, and we just can't say okay, enough, and shut it off like some people are capable of. All right, I'm going to take a break here, and I will come back and we'll continue on with ADHD and music. Okay, talk to you soon. So I would turn it on, and my brain, instead of thinking about all these different problems and thoughts and concerns and stuff that's happening, it would just shut all that off and focus on the show. And it was funny. There'd be times where I would be starting to drift into sleep. Like I wasn't sleeping yet because I could tell, and I could still hear the sound, but there were times when it almost felt like I was like there in the show, like as if it was like a live performance, right? Or like it was interactive in real time with me. And I remember thinking in my mind, would say something to like one of the characters, and they say, okay, I'll just an example, like say, oh, stop what you're doing, you're doing something silly, or you wanted to say something to that character. And I remember thinking like right away, going, that person's been dead for 30, 40 years. This show is 70 years old. Hello. But still, it would just, I'd be so immersed in it that it was so relaxing, but also the ability to the focus allowed my brain to relax. And I did this for years. Like, I think, if I remember correctly, I started doing that when I was in my teen years, like late teen years, because I was having a lot of worrisome thoughts and some traumatic related stuff that was going on. So I would worry about things, and I would be so strong that I couldn't stop thinking about it. So my, your heart would race and you'd go crazy. Felt like I was losing it, and I couldn't calm down. And there would be times where I just would never sleep. So I just remember there's a radio station, where I live, that at midnight, 11 o'clock at night, would play the radio shows from the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and they would go for 2 hours. And I just remember I would always tune into that, and I would listen to it. And usually I'd probably fall asleep by the end of the second one, depending on how tired I was. And then I remember finding, this was back in the day when recording music on CDs was a big thing, like downloading music and there were, I was able to find a lot of different shows on the internet, and I would download them and burn them onto the CDs. And then at night, when I go to bed, I would turn it on, and I had it programmed to run for 3-4 hours, and it would automatically shut off, obviously. And I just started doing this, and over the years it would progress, and I would find more. I had a giant list. Like, I remember at one point I had probably over 100 shows, and they're about 30 minutes each. So I had like 300 plus hours of shows. And I remember, just out of the curiosity, I calculated it out, and I think it was like a day and a half. So if I had let it play straight, it would be like literally a day and a half of shows before it would end, which I thought was pretty cool. I know there are some people out there that would think that's just weird, but that's just me. I thought that was pretty cool. And so there were websites out there, and I was downloading them, and then of course I got a smartphone eventually, and I had my phone loaded with these, and I would just kept playing them every night when I was at home. That would be my routine. I'd plug in my speaker that was at the front of the room, and I'd have the volume so that it wasn't too loud, but also could hear it, and I would fall asleep to the shows, and that was my calming ability to keep me focused so that my mind could relax and fall asleep. And I just only recently stopped doing that, just because of the situation that I'm in now. But if I ever needed to, like if I was really having troubles with sleep, like I did back then, I would probably just find a way to do it differently. But I would start up. But I haven't had the need to do that lately. But yeah, like music seems to always be my ability to improve my senses, improve my ability to do things, and to focus on it and to do it properly. Like it's just a habit. Like I would always go out and put music on, and when I walked, or I would always, no matter what, I would always have music going. And it was amazing. Like I've seen all these people on Twitter that gave me their own little bit about what they play, and when they would play it, and how it would improve their focusing ability to do their work, or to their school, like writing papers or whatever they have to do. And it's amazing how that works, right? Like you would think that listening to the song, and like listening to your favorite song, you would be going and singing along with the lyrics, and the only thing that you would be focused on would be listening to the music and singing along with it, and you couldn't do anything else. And I know that there are times where that does occur, and so fortunately it isn't a lot of times it's not when I'm driving, although sometimes I do sing when I'm driving. But at the same time, it does seem like I'm still having a higher ability to focus on what is in front of me. But more often than not, the music does not take my focus away from what is important. It actually is helping, because I guess I wish I could scientifically explain it. It's hard to explain without probably reading a lot of nauseating science crap that most people would get bored at and probably shut it off in a few minutes. So I won't bother with that. But the fact that it does the opposite of what you think it would do, I can imagine there are a lot of people out there that would think about, when they're listening to music, that it wouldn't improve their ability to focus. It wouldn't give them better abilities to do the task or the work that they're doing, and to like a boost, or like a shot of courage, or a shot of strength or confidence. It's amazing how something like a song, like an upbeat, motivational, fast-paced, heavy beat song, makes somebody feel more confident in themselves, or feel better about their abilities, or make them better in what they're doing. It's quite something, and it's an amazing thing that we have that we can do. And I'm not saying that this doesn't occur for neurotypical people. Neurotypicals can definitely have this too. It's just for someone like who has ADHD, who has a really difficult time paying attention and focusing on what they're doing, instead of, because we're obviously more often than not distracted by every little thing that happens around us. Some sudden move or a sudden noise, or somebody walks by and we're automatically following them. And then there's a potential for something else to make us, completely go away from that and look at what's going on in the background, or heads going all swiveling like all over the place. The fact that having that music in your mind through your ears as you're doing the work, the fact that it can improve that function is just incredible. Like, in a way, it does blow my mind, but it is such a neat thing that it happens for so many people. I would love to be able to have like a doctor or a neurologist sit down and kind of give an explanation or some sort of saying, okay, this is why it happens. This is what causes it. And it is pretty cool. All right, I do have something here that actually I'm going to read that has some bit of an explanation. I'm hoping this is very helpful. Okay, concentration can feel like an elusive mental stunt. Some days you feel highly focused while doing your tasks, and other days you feel sluggish, hoping for the day to end quickly. This is where music can help you concentrate better with greater consistency. How does music help you concentrate? Music helps you concentrate by blocking out distracting noise. It acts as a stimulus that engages the brain, which modifies your mood and provides a rhythm that keeps you alert. This serves to make the task at hand more engaging, less dull, and easier to concentrate on. Reaping the benefits of music will take some planning and musical choice selection. Below, we will share different types of music that might help you concentrate better for studying, and additionally, we will highlight some common situational constraints to be aware of when trying to improve your ability to concentrate. So, best types of music for concentrating. There are many types of music, of course, which may make choosing an ideal choice difficult. Here is a list of popular music types for your consideration. All right, first here's classical music, a genre with rich history that focuses on melodic tunes. Behind many classical music are famous composers such as Mozart and Beethoven. The music can be extremely rich with sounds or simple with just a single musical instrument. Musical rhythm can be slow or really fast. A great music choice for enriching your inner emotions. For those who enjoys instrumental only music without vocals, this genre has a lot of options. Some negatives are that the music can be extremely abstract and requires an acquired taste. Of the music types, classical music is definitely the most talked about music type to help concentration. Many studies have been done on classical music. The findings show that the abstract melodic tunes have an effect on stimulating certain types of brain waves. It's kind of like what I was saying, but just not with these scientific words. On a quirky note, plants exposed to classical music have been said to grow better. So, well, at least, if anything, you can use classical music to help your plants. A popular choice for music for concentrating and maintaining a calm mood. However, some people find that the slow rhythm of certain classical music makes them sleepy rather than mentally stimulated for improved concentration. I'm actually going to put this website in the link. All right. Epic music. Epic music can commonly be found in awe-striking action, adventure, and fantasy movies. It makes us feel a sense of grandiose and otherworldly feelings. Imagine this sensation as a magical feeling or like the feeling of traveling through the cosmos. Something bigger than life emotion. Epic music feels powerful and can be empowering with mood-lifting effect. A great music type to listen for a motivation boost, or use to keep yourself excited about the project after receiving disappointing feedback. Video game music. Ever felt excited when you are playing video games? This is an effect of the music crafted for video games. They are designed to excite you as you play the game. Listening to video game music can help you focus and stay motivated. Through associating video game music with fun times during gaming, you will also generate positive feelings towards your tasks. This genre of music can be exceptionally effective for a gamer. Blues and jazz music. Blues and jazz are constantly moving and improvised music. It can help to bring about your creativity and alertness as the tunes change unexpectedly. Hearing blues and jazzing music during creative tasks can be helpful for both concentration and creativity boost. Electronic dance music. EDM. EDM music is a type of dance music that you can find at nightclubs, raves, and festivals. It is a music type that inspires the feelings of movement, as they are designed to encourage dancing. Part of this effect is the hard beating percussive sounds of EDM. Some might find the strong beats of EDM give them a sense of rhythmic focus. Further, the sensation of forward movement and momentum of EDM can encourage more action. This music type can be used effectively in action-focused tasks such as physical workout. In contrast, EDM might be a strong flavor of musical taste that might turn away some. They may find EDM to be too strong musically and distracting. Pop music. There are many types of pop music, from Western to Korean pop music. Each type of pop music differ greatly in their musical style. This is an extremely popular choice of modern music that many people enjoy. They are also lyrical focused music. Some may enjoy hearing lyrics, but this can be distracting for others. The range of moods generated by pop music will depend on the type of pop song you choose. Uniquely, the moods invoking pop songs are varied. There can be pop songs on romance, happiness, sadness, and worldly perspective. You will probably find it easy to select a pop song of your liking. It is also easy to ask your peers for recommendation regarding this popular genre type. In a nutshell, this is a broadly suitable music type for many people. If finding meaning in lyrics can help you elevate your mood easier, then this genre might be your perfect fit. Preference of music is individualistic. As you can see above, there are many types of music that you can choose to help your concentration. However, it is impossible to define a specific music type that suits every individual. The preference of music depends on your musical taste. You may want to try different music types to find an ideal type that suits you. Try listening to the YouTube videos provided above for each music type. Again, you'll see this in the link. For a quick start, a good starting point is to select music that you frequently listen to. This should work in most cases, as these music that you're familiar should be enjoyable and able to keep you concentrated. Some of the grammar in this is a little weird. It'd be helpful add variety to the music you listen to. See, that's the writing here. Anyway, try mixing up the music types during different sessions of concentration. Your mind will be kept stimulated by the variety. Combining different types of music within a session can be helpful too. And other benefits. Besides improving your concentration, music has many other benefits. As described, most of the concentration benefit of music can be traced to its mood-changing ability. By modulating your mood, you can keep yourself happy. You can use music to lower your stress. If you are working on an artistic project requiring creativity, listen to some music to give yourself a creativity boost, perhaps with some jazz and blues as suggested above. Situational limitations on your ability to concentrate. Trying to concentrate is an ability, and it can be improved like any skill. Music is indeed a way to improve concentration, but you should not rely just on it. Your concentration ability will depend on other situational limitations. Being aware of them can help make you improve your concentration ability. Few common causes that reduce concentration are a lack of sleep, poor health, poor lighting, and non-conducive ambient temperature. Okay, so there you go. Excuse me. So yeah, there's a more scientific explanation beyond what I've said. But again, everybody's musical tastes are different, and some of us have very complex ideas of what is good music and what we don't like. And like myself and probably others out there, don't always want to listen to that same song whenever they need to be motivated. Common sense. All right. Well, this is the episode for today. I hope you enjoyed listening to this one, and I'd like to hear from everybody who is listening to this podcast and other podcasts. I always like to hear what you think of what I'm doing. You can reach me on Twitter at ADHD and CPTSD. You can go to my website, which is livingwithadhdandcptsd.ca. You can also go to like YouTube. I'm on there. If you go to ko-fi.com, ko-fi.com, I'd like it if you would like to help me out by donating for my cause, to help me continue making podcasts, to help pay for my software and other things that I use in order to create these podcasts. It's difficult without, and it always is helpful, and it also shows support, and I really do appreciate it. I do this for you guys so that you guys have a voice if you're ever not sure about what's going on, or if you feel scared about something, or you have questions. There's a good chance that I've got answers for you. All right, anyway, that's it. And if you are going to tune in for my CPTSD episode tomorrow, it's a two-parter. It was a very long recording, and I interviewed a special guest, so it's available in two parts, and they will be published at 3-hour intervals. So you'll be able to listen to part 1 tomorrow morning, and then the second part later that afternoon. Okay, everybody. Bye.